Hi, Amanda here from Realise Beauty, and today I wanted to explain to you the whole mystery behind intellectual property ownership in the cosmetics industry. Realise Beauty is a consultancy specialising in creative formulating. We formulate basically for clients based on their unique needs. We don't so much have a database of formulas that we pull out and, oh, here comes someone who wants a moisturiser, we'll just take our moisturising base and put their fairy dust in and off they go. That's not what we do here. There are consultants and there are companies that will do that for people, and it's a great service, but that's not what we're about. What we're about is actually looking at things from the beginning up and building something that has purpose and identity all the way through it. So when you come to us for, say, a moisturiser, we'll send you a brief, what's called a brief, to fill out. A brief is basically a set of questions that we want you to really consider and answer as fully as you can and then send back to us. That form, when it's filled out, then comes back to me, and that form will give me a really good idea of what you're imagining for this new moisturiser of yours. How you're going to pack it, what batch sizes are you going to make when you're manufacturing? What claims is the moisturiser going to make? Is it going to be anti-aging, SPF, whatever? We need to know all of that, or as much as possible. Any ingredients you really want to be featured in that formula and things that you definitely don't want to see. That's all really valuable starting information. But just because you've gone to a lot of detail and given us that doesn't necessarily mean that then you don't have to pay for the intellectual property because you've given it to us. Where the intellectual property costs come in is in the actual devil in the detail of making it work, making a formula. And that's what we do here at Realise Beauty. So basically, what I do is I look at the brief and I consider the whole thing. I consider your brand, what you've got at the moment, where you're going to go with this product. Like I said, how big a batch are you going to make? Where are you going to sell it? What are you claiming for it? And then I will select ingredients rather like in the same way that a painter might select a palette to paint a picture. So I'm looking at my cosmetic ingredients in the same way. I need each one of those ingredients to do a job for me and for you. It needs to work and pay its way in the formula. It needs to be adding value to your brand story and creating something in terms of feel and efficacy and whole effect, really, to basically reinforce what you're wanting from that product. We don't want anything in there just because it's in there. It's actually got to be purposeful. And that's one of the key reasons why we don't have stock formulas here, because how the heck can we have one stock formula that will meet everybody's needs? The other thing is to do with price point. Now, we have customers here that can sell moisturisers for $60, $80, $100 a jar. And then we have other ones that are looking to sell the same size jar of product for maybe $5. So again, we have to create solutions based on price and based on what makes logical business sense. Batch sizes that you're manufacturing is a huge thing too. If you're a bespoke small sort of brand looking to sell things, say on a market stall or at a few niche pharmacies, then your batch sizes are only going to be tiny, maybe 10-20 kilo lots. So it's no good me going out there and using materials that you can only purchase in 100 kilo, 200 kilo lots. So we are limited in some ways, and it's up to me and then my skills as a chemist to create amazing solutions for you that are just right for your brand, using ingredients that are probably more common to get hold of and easier to get hold of. So all this sort of thing is being taken into consideration. So when we talk about your intellectual property costs and we give a price for that, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about professional cosmetic chemist looking at taking your ideas, using their knowledge, in this case my knowledge, to create for you something that with every ounce of its being reinforces what you're actually after. And I think that's really worth something. Bear in mind that we also do some basic stability testing, and obviously we are aware of potential micro issues, and we'll also give you all that information with your intellectual property. I think it's well worth the investment. In terms of what that initial investment does for your brand, well, owning your own intellectual property makes your brand more valuable to investors. It makes it easier to export your product to other countries because you can fill out all the safety data and assessment sheets. And it also does just add value to your whole business, because it's a tangible asset. It's a recipe that you can capitalize on and make more money from. It also makes it easier for you to roll with the punches when things change in the market. You know, if you already know the ins and outs of your formula and you know what each ingredient does, should one thing become less available or too expensive, then you've got a better idea of how to overcome that and replace it with something else. If you don't own your intellectual property, then you're not going to really have a clue what to do. All of that said, owning intellectual property and paying those upfront costs is not for everybody. And I'm the first to say that not every brand needs to own it to start off. In those cases, there are other places where you can go, and especially contract manufacturers, they will often, in effect, loan you their formulas to use, just as long as you manufacture with them. And that's an awesome way of getting out into the market and even persisting in the market. Like I said, you don't have to own your own intellectual property. But in owning your intellectual property will give you control over absolutely every aspect of that formula, and it just means that you've got that extra valuable asset in your company. So yeah, that's the Realised Beauty way is to create that for people, and we really value working with clients who value their intellectual property and who want to invest in that process. So if that sounds like you, then please do come to us. If it doesn't sound like you and you're looking for people to work with where you can just buy an off-the-shelf solution and maybe customize it or not, then please do also contact us, and we can put you in contact with people who can offer you that service. But yes, we are creative cosmetic chemists, and we are absolutely excited by the opportunity to create something bespoke and amazing for you. So please do come and see us if that sounds like what you're after. Thank you.